Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Lance, and today I want to give you the 10 must to drop the next 10 to 15 pounds without struggling. Today I'm going to give you part one because there are 10 things to focus on, but you guys know if you've watched any of my videos, they tend to get a little bit long because I can't help myself from teaching. So with that being said, I'm going to talk with you about the first 5 today. They're very, very important. And then tomorrow I'm going to talk about the second 5, as long as I'm able to do tomorrow. Which I should be able to. If not, it'll be Thursday. But regardless, today is going to be part one, the first 5 of the 10 musts in order to drop the next 10 to 15 pounds without struggling. So the thing of it is that I have done this now for 16 years professionally. This is not a matter of opinion. This is not a matter of speculation or some sort of, guess as to what might be a good plan. These are the specific 10 things that we built into our program, and I thought that you could benefit from knowing what these 10 things are. Now, I'm not going to dive in as deep as I would inside of one of my trainings or modules inside of my program, but you knowing these 10 things, 5 today, 5 tomorrow, are going to make a major impact on your weight loss and your muscle development, your fitness goals, whatever those might be. So without further ado, really quick, if you're watching live or on replay, be sure to comment #live or replay in the comments below. And let me know where you're watching from and if you have any questions. So without further ado, the very first one, this is by far the most important one. This is going to tune people out immediately, and that's what I'm going to start with it. You must know how many calories in versus how many calories out for your desired outcome you need to be at. What that simply means is that you need to know how many calories your body needs approximately to maintain its body weight with all of your activity, okay? That's what's known as your total daily energy expenditure. There are calculators that do this. I do this for clients. I teach people how to do this. The one that we use is the Harris-Benedict model. You can look that up. Yes, it's a formula. Yes, it's an equation, but it will help you. If you do not know how many calories a day your body requires to maintain its body weight, you therefore cannot know how many calories you need to reduce or subtract away, which means that you're either going to underguess or overshoot and start causing your metabolism to crash. Guys, if you've done diets where you're jumping at 12, 13, 1400 calories right off the bat without knowing how many calories you should be at, this here is exactly why your metabolism has slowed down to such a crawl that what used to work is no longer working for you. So this is not a matter of opinion. This is science. This is the law of thermodynamics. I don't have time to argue on this one, but if you want to, send me a DM and we'll battle it out. Just kidding, of course. Don't do that. All right, guys. So the very first one, you need to know how many calories you need to be consuming and how many calories to be burning in order to lose body fat that stays away and to protect you from losing too much metabolism. And you're not going to lose metabolism, but what I mean is it's going to prevent it from slowing down. If you crash diet, which is 1,300 calories right off the bat, it will slow your metabolism down. That's not good for weight loss. All right. Number 2, you need to have a balance of macronutrients and know what each of them does. This is the second thing. If you're focusing on supplements and focusing on all this stuff before you know how many calories a day you need and what sort of macronutrient balance you need, you have effectively put the cart before the horse and you're not going to get the results that you want. So what we recommend is for the protein, so very first thing is macronutrients are protein, carbs, and fats, carbohydrates. These 3 things are the macronutrients. Your vitamins, your minerals, those are the micronutrients. They're important for nourishment, less so for weight loss. Macronutrients are going to be more important for weight loss, but keep in mind, there's nothing magical about macronutrients. Tracking macros is really the same as tracking calories because each macronutrient is a placeholder for calories. Fats, 1 gram of fat, 9 calories. 1 gram of carbs, carbohydrates, 4 calories. 1 gram of protein, 4 calories. If I cut you 100 grams of fat, which is a lot, you wouldn't be doing that much mostly, 100 times 9, that's 900 calories, okay? Knowing this will help you to know which order to do. Now, I have created this, what's called the perfect diet formula. If you want that for free, comment below and I'll send that to you. It will teach you specifically how to calculate your calories and how to know about your macros. Okay, so these two things, those are highly important. We're not going to get away with that or get away from that. It has to be done. The third thing is you need to have an average workout of 3 to 5 times a week doing, I would recommend HIIT workouts for optimal time saving and burning the most fat. Now again, if you don't like that or if you already have a different workout style, then stick with that. That's fine. But if you're asking me, Lance, what is the fastest or most direct path to losing all the fat that I need to lose the right way so that I don't just lose this body fat and it comes piling back on right after I get done with this 90-day challenge, what do I do? What do I need to do? And here's the thing. I would say at this point, I would recommend immensely sticking with interval style training, HIIT training, high intensity interval training. Number one, it's going to time collapse and save time. Number two, it's blending resistance training with aerobic training, which is going to cause you to significantly increase what's known as the EPOC, which we're just going to call that the afterburn effect, meaning that your metabolism is going to be faster for up to a series of hours, usually 24 to 30 hours after your workout. That's a great benefit to doing HIIT training. Now, why 3 to 5 times a week? We found that if you do it 2 times a week, it's too easy to get out of a habit. If you start aiming for more than 5, you start burning yourself out. So what we teach is the good, great, and awesome goal. This system is where you'll do 3 times a week is your good goal, 4 times a week is your great goal, and 5 times a week is your awesome goal. So every single week, if you're in my program, you would set your good, great, and awesome goal for that week, knowingly what you're looking ahead at for your schedule. This is how my clients who travel and have businesses and 6 kids and all of this are still able to be successful in the program. They have a system that they stick with. That system doesn't just prevent them from burning themselves out on the top end, it prevents themselves from underdoing it and not getting results on the bottom end. Both of these things are highly important. So, being able to schedule your workouts 3 to 5 times a week using our good, great, and awesome goal system is highly recommended in order to keep with your program. So these first 3 things, already, you implement those, I promise you, you're going to get amazing results. Now, the fourth one is one that I want to give with the disclaimer. Again, if we're talking about maximizing fat loss, I'm going to tell you as often as possible to use full body workouts. The reason is because the body does work more synergistically together by well, just going to say it just works better instead of isolation, but isolation still plays a role. What I mean here is that the old bodybuilding split, which is actually how I work out a lot of times, chest and back together or chest and tris together, whatever it is, where you're isolating muscle groups, that's good for volume and building up, building up larger muscle density. It's not going to be necessarily the most optimal way of burning fat calorically. Now, again, do people do it? Absolutely, I do it. But it is a little bit of a slower route because you're putting more of your eggs in the basket of muscle building instead of your eggs being in equally of muscle building and fat loss. And high intensity interval training is going to be equal. And using full body workouts, this allows us to use large muscle groups like legs and glutes and your back more often. Those bigger muscle groups are going to burn or, it's just going to utilize more energy, aka calories, helping you to reach your results a little bit faster in shorter time. So I would recommend full body workouts more often than not if you're looking for fat loss as your main motivation. Now, the thing of it is here is that I don't recommend doing the exact same things every day. You're going to overtrain. So for example, if you're going to work, back a little bit on Monday, you might be doing like plank rows. I wouldn't be doing a row necessarily on Tuesday. You might want to do like, band chin-ups or doing, assisted pull-ups, because now we're going to be doing a vertical pull where the day before we did a horizontal pull. So this is in my program, I actually teach postural alignment and things like this to make sure that you're balancing that for every vertical push, there's a vertical pull. For every horizontal push, there's a horizontal pull. We focused on core rotational and then transverse abdominals to keep you in a position for being fixed. All of these things need to be incorporated, but you simply knowing if I work out like he's instructing here, I'm going to burn more calories and not burn myself out nearly as quick. Why? Because 30 minutes or less, guys. And here's the other thing. Take this tool that I give, this good, great, and awesome goal, and use it for the length of time also to build yourself up. So what I teach my clients is for your good goal on the length of time, it's going to be 15 to 20 minutes. Your great goal is 20 to 25 minutes, and your awesome goal is 25 to 30 minutes. This is going to help you because some days you won't have the time, and you don't want to feel defeated if you only got 20 minutes. So if you set that as your, instead of I only got 20 minutes is, well, I was only able to reach my good goal today, but I reached my minimum goal. I feel good. This builds up a habit, and this habit is going to lead to a lifestyle that not only reaches your goal, but helps you to maintain that goal. That's what we call a goal system rather than a goal. A goal is finite. A goal system is based on desiring to reach that goal repeatedly over and over and over. So the very last one, guys, for today. Now, again, I'm going to talk on the deeper stuff on the next level. These are the ones where people miss even more so. The first ones are a little bit more obvious, but we're going to talk about those. But the last one here is this. Use compound movements and compound exercises because they're going to be burning twice as many calories and save time. Now, an isolated movement or an isolated exercise might be like a tricep extension. You're only bending the elbows, and you might have a rope, and you're pushing down, okay? Only working the triceps as a focus. Now, again, are there supporting muscles? Yes. We're working forearms, we're working the hands, we're working different things like this, but we're just talking about the triceps, back of the arm. Now, if I were to do, instead of triceps, if I were to do bench dips, where my hands are on a bench behind me like this. Now, if you're going to do this, by the way, a little quick tip, put your hands outward this way instead of facing forward, and that's easier on your shoulders and gives you a greater connection on the long head of the triceps. So, free little tip there. So, doing bench dips where your hands are behind you and you're pushing, this is going to be a compound movement. It's going to work your core more. It's going to work other muscles, including the chest, shoulders, tris, etc. And it's going to work more completely of the triceps instead of just doing the tricep pushdown. So that would be an example of a compound movement. Now, a compound exercise is where we're actually taking two movements together. I might say this backwards. Is that right? Compound movement? I get this backwards regardless. Anyway, so it doesn't matter. Whenever I need it, it's right. But nevertheless, so a compound movement or compound exercise. Compound exercise, there we go. Yeah, so a compound movement is two exercises put together. There we go. So what I was describing as a compound exercise, which is where you're taking two joints and making it a compound exercise. A compound movement, I still feel like I'm getting this backwards. Regardless, it's important to me. I got to figure this out. So regardless, though, the other one we'll say, that which I believe is a compound exercise, is where you're putting two exercises together, such as doing lunges and curls or a squat and a press. Now, that compound movement is going to be highly advantageous for your fat loss and for building more muscle because you're activating more muscles simultaneously. So, nevertheless, whether it's compound movement or compound exercise, again, I get those inverted. The great thing is both of those can and should be utilized to burn more calories, to speed up the metabolism, and to, we're going to say, recruit more muscle fibers in a workout. Now, those of you who think like muscle doesn't matter, oh my gosh, nothing could be further from the truth. In order to maintain one's body fat where it does, so let's say that you lose 20 pounds, if you want to maintain that body fat level where you lost that 20 pounds and you keep it off, the best possible way to do this is by increasing what's known as your lean body mass. Your lean body mass is one of the greatest contributors to your metabolism, which means that the more muscle you have on your frame, the more lean tissue, bone density, etc., from working out, from eating the right way, you're going to be burning more calories or let's say it this way, your body requires more calories than it would. What this means is that, number one, you get more food. That's awesome. That's more sustainable for you. Number two, it means that having more lean body mass is going to also help preserve the body's metabolism so that it's not declining. Because if you have muscle, your body is going to require more calories for you to be fed, and that means that you're going to be more likely to feed yourself in order to preserve that. By doing this, it's going to prevent you from going into metabolic adaptation as quickly. Now, again, I could go deeper on this. I could say this in a way that would make more sense. But the point is, The more muscle you have on your body, and ladies, if you're thinking that more muscle means more bulk, you could not be more wrong on this. When you have felt bulky, or if you've seen somebody get bulky and you attributed it to the workouts or what have you, it's not. This is usually what's happening when we're gaining muscle and we're not losing body fat. So what's happening is underneath of the body fat we're carrying, we're building muscle and it's causing a greater protrusion. This is not because you're building too much muscle. This is because you're building muscle faster than you're allowing body fat to be shed off of you. That's when we feel bulky. So the real key is not to avoid working out and lifting or resistance training. The real key is to modify, to make sure that you are in control of your body fat level. And when you are in your weight training, resistance training, your metabolism goes up, which causes your body fat to go down. That's a good thing. So nevertheless, guys, these are the first 5 of the 10 must to drop the next 10 to 15 pounds without struggling. So on part 2, I'm going to go through several different things such as flexibility, the 80-20 rule, even certain things on alignment. These are much deeper, but I hope that these have helped you today, guys. Again, I'm not teaching each specific thing, but these 5 things, this is what I use. It's not like here's this, useless little trick or tip. These things here, if you do those first 5, know your calories, make sure you have an appropriate deficit, make sure that your macronutrients are balanced instead of cutting out all carbs, making sure that they're in a balance that gives you adequate protein for muscle, adequate hormone balance with your fats, and adequate energy levels and brain function from your carbs, you're going to do great. Same thing with if you're working out 3 to 5 times a week, only 20 to 30 minutes, and you're using my good, great, and awesome goal system, you're going to stick with it without burning out. You're going to get results. Likewise, if when you're working out, you're more often than not hitting full body workouts instead of going in there and just doing this or curling, you're going to burn more calories, which means that you're going to get done quicker. You're going to see better results. And lastly, if you're using compound movements and exercises where you're blending, lunges and curls, now good form is going to be important here, and you're manipulating and using interval style training, and you're doing this with compound exercises and compound movements, you are going to get results. That's it. Now, again, if you want more help with this, if you go, yeah, Lance, this is great. Those are awesome guidelines, but I don't know how to fill in the blanks there. Send me a direct message and let's chat. Let's see if my program might be a fit for you. We can chat a little bit about your goals, your struggles. And guys, by the way, we do not do any sales anything. So when you get on the call, you will not be asked to make a decision on our strategy calls ever. So I will share information with you. I will give you guidance and coaching. And I will, if you're a fit, we'll chat about an opportunity to work with us in our program. But you're not even allowed to get signed up with us on the phone that day because we want you to take 1 or 2 days to think about it, to look over everything, to actually see if this is a heck yes for you. So I say that just because if you're one of those watching and you're shy like me, or you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be sold, before I'm ready, like I am, that's why we do this way, then this is for you because this is going to help you to learn if this is a good fit or if it's not a fit, now or later or whatever, without feeling pressure. And so what you will do is actually get to hear some counseling, some advice, and actually have some empathy towards your situation so that you can know whether you're on the right track or if you need to do something different. So again, if you get on a strategy call, learn all those things, find out your best strategy and what works versus what doesn't, without being sold or asked to buy something over the phone, what do you have to lose other than body fat? Anyway, dad jokes. So nevertheless, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this has helped you. I hope that it's been revelational. Be sure to comment #value in the comments below if you feel like it has shared any light to you whatsoever that helps you on a better path. Stay tuned for part 2 of this. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to go a little bit deeper, and I've got some cool things to share with you guys. So stay tuned.